What's good, YouTube? Welcome to the Ballers Club. It's your boy BallOrFallBird, the one and only Mr. BallOrFall, the one and only Mr. Do It All, the one and only Mr. Everything Under the Sun will get done because your boy is best beyond. Listen, man, I want to go ahead and dive straight into today's video, and the topic of today is change happens where you are, not where you're going. And I really wanted to talk about this because obviously, you know, if you're in the BallOrFall family, if you're not in the BallOrFall family, regardless if you're watching this video right now, 9 times out of 10, you're on your path to your purpose. You're on your path to what you feel like you want in life. You're on your path to what you feel like is the life that you want for yourself, future generations after you, so on and so forth. And a big thing about that, I know I've spoken about the foundation of, you know, trying to get to where you want to be in life. I know I've spoke about, you know, changing, you know, the way that we view certain things. But at the end of the day, I never really emphasize, in my own opinion, how important it is that we change where we are right now. And the reason why I say this, the reason why I wanted to really make this a topic for today is because we can have all these dreams and all these aspirations. Like I told y'all before, I'm a dreamer. Like I have so many things that pop up in my head where I'm like, man, like when I finally have this in my life, it's gonna be amazing. When I finally have, you know, this and that in my life, you know, my life is gonna be great. But there's a certain change that you have to go through to be able to get to where you want in life. And regardless of if we really know that or not, what will show if we really know that or not will be how much we actually change. And the reason why I say this is because I know in a video I said this quote, but I'm gonna, you know, make sure I restate it again. If you can have what you want to have, doing or being the person that you are right now, wouldn't you already have it? So that statement, that quote alone literally makes me think about the very fact of, if I wanted, let's say I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire, wouldn't I already be a millionaire if I could be a millionaire with my current habits and my current actions or non-actions? So when I think about that quote, when I think about what it really means, for me is we have to change who we are, where we are, and what we're doing right now. We can't wait to change that. We can't say that, you know, I'm gonna wait until I become a millionaire so that I can start being better with my money. I'm gonna wait until I, you know, become this athlete to start going to the field by myself or training with you know, a top of the line trainer. It's ways that we can make the things happen, and those things that I'm referring to is just change in general. It's ways that we can change ourselves. It's ways that we can change our thinking. It's ways that we can change the path that we're on, but we have to do that now, because it's not going to happen there, because the thing about it is we'll never get there because we're not changing our now. So like I said, like we have to change now. We have to change whatever habit it is that I have right now. How can I ever, like y'all know I'm always upfront with y'all. I have a habit of procrastinating at times. How can I ever get to being a millionaire? How can I ever get to, you know, being the person that owns a Lamborghini or a McLaren or whatever, you know, materialistic things that I speak about sometimes? How will I ever get there just being a procrastinator? How will I ever get there not changing how I act now? Whether that be a you know, a specific attitude that I have, whether that be, like I said, procrastination, laziness, whatever the case that may be. But understand that we have to change who we are now. Change happens where we're at, not where we're going. And honestly, I feel like we should want change to happen where we're at, because me personally, obviously, like, yes, it would be nice to say, you know, oh, I can continue to be exactly who I am. I can continue to do the same things that I'm doing and get all the things that we want. But like I said, if we could have what we wanted to have, being who we are today or doing what we do today, wouldn't we already have them? And even when I, like, just right here in this moment, me thinking about that makes me think about the fact that even if I had the things that I wanted right now with who I am, I probably wouldn't be able to keep it. Remember, like in the little 3-part series of the 3 most important words that I did, be, do, and have. Part of having what we want to have is being able to retain it, being able to keep it, or being able to steward it out in the way that's most beneficial. It's not having it for a quick second and then it you know, ends up going within our lives. So I just say all this to say, like, even if we don't change and we were to acquire the things that we wanted to have or the things that we actually want out of life, we probably wouldn't be able to retain it. We probably wouldn't be able to keep it because of the fact that there's some kind of change that had to happen for us to be able to get it in the first place or be able to keep it in the second place. Like I said, I've always gave the analogy or just the example of 95% of lottery ticket winners, whether that be millions, mega millions, multi-millions, whatever the case may be. I don't really know too much about the lottery itself, but 95% of lottery winners end up going back to their original financial state within 3 years of having that money. And y'all can look that up. Y'all can fact check that. 95% of lottery winners fall back to where they were originally at. So back within the same tax bracket, back within the same amount of money that they were comfortable handling before, even after they win the lottery. So think about that. Think about somebody being able to win $10 million. Like, if you're watching this video, just imagine what you could do with $10 million. And we think about these things. We say, oh, if I had this money, I'll do this. Oh, if I had this money, I'll do that. But there's a reason why self-made millionaires are able to retain their money, or even if they lose all their money, they're able to get it back because they had to change and become a specific person to be able to attain that amount of money. That's why they say it's always your hardest making your first 10,000, 100,000, first million, whatever the case may be. But after that, it seems like clockwork that you're able to do it. So I say these things and I think about this specific example because with the lottery winners, they did not become who they needed to become. Think about it. I don't like categorizing people, but let's just say if you're somebody that likes to play the lottery, you're a gambler. You like to gamble and say, you know what, I would rather, throw this $1, $10, $100 in this pot of 1,000 other names, and I'm going to test my luck and see if I can win and, if I can be the lone winner. Well, what if I take that same habit until once I have these multi-millions, these mega millions? Then I didn't change that part about myself that needed to be changed to say, you know what? Oh, I'm not going to gamble with my money. And like I said, it's not to say that anyone that plays the lottery is a gambler. It's just to say, it just depends on your perspective. I could look at that as, the fact that I, try to play the lottery, that's a gamble. But in my eyes, I feel like everything in life is a gamble. But that's a story probably for my next video. But nonetheless, like I said, like the reason why these multi and mega millionaires cannot keep that money even after they hit it on the lottery is simply because they did not become who they needed to become to be able to manage that amount of money. So like I said, change happens where we are. Change happens. Me personally, I would think that we want to have that change before it is that we get what we want, so that we don't fumble it away, so that we don't, lose whatever it is that we actually want. We need to change who we are today. If I need to change, like I said, my habit of procrastination, because once I get blessed with $1 million, if I continue to procrastinate, I may procrastinate that money all the way away. I may say, I'm not gonna go work, or I'm not gonna put businesses in place to make me, even if I sit at home, my businesses are still running. If I don't become that person without money, if I don't become that person, on the way to those millions, how will I be that person once I just magically have those millions? So like I said, I just say these things because change happens where we're at. And I want us to really understand it. I want us to really internalize that and understand that if you don't have what you want in your life right now, it's 9 times out of 10 because you need to make a change where you're at. Instead of wishing that, you just had the stuff, that the stuff would just, just fall out of the air and into our lives, and then we'll change. We got to let go of that thought. That's insanity. If you think about the definition of insanity, it's doing something over and over, but expecting a different outcome. So that's why I say that we have to make the change where we're at. That's why I say we have to be different now. We have to be different today. And it's not to say that, it's not to say that, it's going to be easy. Like, obviously, like I said before, we stack these habits on top of habits, no matter if you're 25, 35, 45, 55, or older, whatever the case may be. We have these habits today, so we have to get out of these habits now and just, get better at it 1%, 1% each day. And that'll be another topic that I'll talk about. Just getting better 1% each day. It doesn't have to be, I got bad OCD. It doesn't have to be, I I broke my rule today, like I gotta start all over. I broke my rule today, like I'll never beat anything. It has to be, change is, gradual. Change, comes over time. So I feel like, the more that we focus in on just being the change that we have to be today, focusing on today. Like I said, I made another video, why not today? So just focus on being that change today. And all the things that we want, they will eventually come. They will inevitably come because we're changing into the person that attracts those things instead of just the person that chases those things, all willy-nilly. So like I said, man, be the change today because the change happens where you are, not where you're going. Hey, man, it's your boy BallOrFallBird. Y'all know I appreciate y'all for coming to the Ballers Club meeting today. Listen, if you're not a part of the BallOrFall family, join the BallOrFall family, man. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a like, leave a comment, man. Y'all know I love engaging with y'all. I know I got to catch up on some of the comments here lately. Just been trying to get some things in order, man. But I always appreciate y'all's comments. I always appreciate, the things that y'all are willing to give me topics to possibly talk about in, further videos. So, like I said, man, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment below, and y'all know that's it, man. It's your boy BallOrFallBird, the one and only Mr. BallOrFall, the one and only Mr. Do It All, the one and only Mr. Everything Under the Sun will get done because your boy's best beyond, man. And I will see you in the next video.